Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're talking about celebrating Valentine's Day. Now here in the UK and around the world, people in a few weeks' time will be celebrating Valentine's Day. Historically, it has been a Christian festival, and more recently, in the last couple of hundred years, has been taken over more by the idea of love and the introduction of Cupid, roses, cards, Valentine cards, to celebrate relationships or the blossoming of relationships. Now, in Norfolk, in the UK, there is another idea or concept which is called Jack Valentines. And this is where a mysterious character called Jack Valentine, on the evening of the 13th, goes around and puts sweets and treats on doorsteps and knocks on the door for children to have the sweets. It's also sometimes a bittersweet experience, if you like, because sometimes the treats are tricks or mischiefs taken upon the people of the household. But that to one side now, we're talking about leading up to St. Valentine's and how you're going to celebrate it with your loved one or your intended loved one. So from a sartorial point of view, then we're talking about quite an auspicious occasion really, and how to dress for that. And that's going to always be a little bit tricky if you don't know the person well. So it might be a case of wearing a blazer or a jacket, sports jacket, a pair of jeans. It could be jeans and t-shirts and a tracksuit top. It could be all the way to fully suited and booted and going out for a slap-up meal, no expense spared. Now you might not be able to afford that, so you might have to tailor your expectations and the expectation of your partner. But if it's done tastefully and respectfully to that individual, that won't be a negative thing. So for Valentine's, with myself and my partner, my wife, we will celebrate by going out for a meal. I would tend to buy her some flowers, some chocolates, a nice Valentine's card leading up to the meal. We'll have I'll dress appropriately for the venue, and also what I think she would like me to wear rather than what I would wear. And also I make sure that the focus will be upon her rather than me when we go to the venue. And I am merely complimenting her. Something else to consider though is, obviously, if money's tight and you can't do that easily, then it could be just a case of staying at home, still dressing up, but you prepare a meal instead of her, because she historically has done it for you, or that's the way that you designate responsibilities within the household. And by you doing it instead of her, that's a real compliment to her and a real treat for her not to have to do the housework for a change. Of course, all this counts for nought if you've been an absolute arse for the whole year. One day and one evening isn't going to make a difference, and it isn't going to change that. So it's your behaviour, your attitude towards people all year round that's going to make that evening a success. It might be a pleasurable evening for that individual, your partner, on that particular evening, but they will always have in the back of their mind, this isn't going to last. This isn't going to be the way it will always be. they're going to revert back to how they were before. So unfortunately, if you're one of those chaps that you don't behave appropriately with your partner and you don't play on a level playing field, then really you're not going to get very far with that approach. And Valentine's Day isn't really in the long term going to change the way they feel about you because of the way you treat them. So it's just something to consider. I'm not poking the finger in anybody's chest and saying you need to change, but it's an ideal opportunity leading up to Valentine's Day to reflect on the previous year since the last Valentine's celebration you had with that individual, and consider, have you changed? Have you been caring for them? Have you shown affection to them? Have you treated them with respect? Have you treated them the way that you'd like to be treated? And that's not an unreasonable expectation from your partner to expect that from you, no different to you expect it from them. Now, when it comes to dressing for the part, ideally you want the middle of the road potentially. You know, if you're going to somewhere where it requires a dress code, that's a different thing altogether, and you dress appropriately for the dress code. If it's just a case of going to a local restaurant, then consider the type of restaurant you're going to. And you don't want to make your partner feel uncomfortable going there. So if they're going to go in jeans and a t-shirt and say a pair of trainers or something like that, then obviously you don't really want to go suited and booted. You make them feel uncomfortable as well. But it's a very awkward situation for somebody that sartorially wants to dress appropriately. And so I would then say maybe step it up a little bit, maybe wear jeans yourself, but then wear a sports jacket and a shirt with that, with with no tie, and a pair of shoes on. That would be a good look. It is dressy, but not over dressy, not over complicated. Just a few things to remember. Dress appropriately for your partner, the venue, and it's all about making them the focus of the evening rather than yourself. The flowers, the chocolates and the cards are lovely, but they won't be the lasting memory that you create. So let us know what you think leading up to Valentine's Day, your opinions of how to dress for the occasion and what you might advise others to do leading up to Valentine's Day. So we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, then please feel free to do so. If you like notifications, then hit the bell. We love constructive comments, so if you'd like to jot them down below, we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. So until next time, take care.